up? What's up? Hey, what's going on, people? How y'all doing? How you doing on this fine Tuesday? You know what I'm saying? This week is Thanksgiving. Um, I hope when you hear this broadcast, whether you hear it live or recorded, I hope you're in the best of your health. Hope your family's in the best of health and your friends and stuff like that. And I hope you're able to enjoy the upcoming festivities and stuff like that. Um, and stuff. I wish y'all the best. I hope everybody's enjoying the gaming so far and stuff like that. Um, just a quick note: recently, I've been playing like a story-based game called Life is Strange. Yo, that game is phenomenal. Oh, my boy, always, one of my boys, Mark Woolen. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Um, before I get to the topic, just a quick little warm up and stuff. But yeah, play Life is Strange. If you haven't played it and you like story based games, kind of like the Telltale games, um, like Heavy Rain and stuff like that. Amazing. I think this game is more closer to Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls because there's a little bit more control, a little bit more gameplay as compared to a Telltale game. But the storytelling in this game is so awesome. I mean, yo, I'm not gonna lie. Uh, like the characters, I really felt close to the characters, and like the character, like the problems she was going through. I don't want to spoil it, even though the game's been out for a while, but it's pretty dope. It was really dope. It was well worth it. So I'm glad I played. I think I got it free for during the PSN Plus and stuff like that. But I just need to shout out that game instead, whatever. Still got to play Heavy Rain. Yeah, that's a pretty dope game, Heavy Rain. Mark, it was. I enjoyed it too. The story's great. I mean, of course, it could be better and stuff like that, but I enjoyed it. Yo, my man, Dr. Joe was good. Yo, we gotta get up on Street Fighter at some point, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do that. Um, so I'll be tuning in. I gotta do some work, no doubt, man. You know what I'm saying? It'll be recorded. It'll be a quick podcast too. It's not gonna be no hour long. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow's my 60 frame no lag podcast. But this, I just want to talk about a topic and stuff. But anyway, I want to give a shout out. Yo, I'm down to fight whenever. No doubt, no doubt. I gotta get a little bit of practice. You know what I'm saying? I gotta refine my Ken strategies, but I'm gonna get it. Um, but I want to talk about Life is Strange. Not talk about. I just wanted to give honorable mention to Life is Strange. It was a good storytelling game. I was impressed with it. I liked the direction they did with it. You actually felt the characters. The game had good moral choices. You understand what I'm saying? It was crazy. Like some of the choices were like, holy shit. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And the game was good. If you guys have the opportunity to get it, do it on the cheap. I highly recommend you get it. It was a fun story based games and stuff like that. All right. But on to the topic. You know what I'm saying? Um, the Game Awards. Is it bias or are fanboys back to the tinfoil stuff? Um, um, are fanboys sensitive to this? Okay, so recently the Game Awards, George Keeley's little thing I think it's on December 1st. He had his nominees, and if you haven't looked at it, I'll post it on the link. But I think most of us seen it by now. But just in case you haven't, let me look it up for you right now. The Game Awards. I'll do it right now. The Game Awards nominee, 2016 nominees. All right. I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna do the whole list, but I'll go to the main one where it's the point of contention, where everybody's having the issue, and the one that everybody's having an issue. Well, not everybody, but the people who think it's biased is the category of Game of the Year. All right. So you have the category of Game of the Year, which is the Game Awards opinion of the best games that came out in 2016, and the nominees are Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4 Thieves End. Those are the 5 games that are nominated for Game of the Year. Okay. Now the problem, and what's up, Stone Gamer? Thank you for stopping by. I want to say the problem is where the point of contention is coming from is the fact that there's not a Microsoft or Xbox exclusive game. Okay. All right. Okay. Overwatch. You haven't played Overwatch, Mark? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Overwatch is a really good game. I think this past weekend it was free. You could have downloaded it for free and play over the weekend for free on both Xbox and PlayStation 4. And they do that. That's like the second time at least that I played it, that I found out it was free. It's a really good. I might actually get it. It's a really good multiplayer. But I will say this: the main issue is that's where the thing is. Now, here's my. I don't want to say it's my issue. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Right. And I like to watch, YouTube videos from different, content creators. You know what I'm saying? I like to see and hear the opinions. As long as it's reasonable, I like to hear and hear the opinions of other gamers, whether it's Xbox, PC, PlayStation. You understand what I'm saying? Because as long as you're open to hear the opinions of other gamers, that's where you learn, you grow, develop, better knowledge. But when I hear some of these content creators, primarily from pro Xbox channels, complain or maybe have an opinion that the Game Awards are biased, the one thing I notice they all do is they look at the list and they say, man, not one Microsoft game is on the list. That's if you notice. And if I'm, I challenge you guys to go to some of these pro Xbox channels and listen specifically to what they say. They read off the list and they reply back, you see, not one Microsoft game's on the list, and then they go on their explanation, and then they go on their theory of bias. You understand? I want you to guys hear me out for a minute. Why are they saying not one Microsoft game? This is the Game of the Year award. So if you have an opinion that a game should be nominated, then the answer is not, oh, look, not one Microsoft game. The answer should be the specific game you want on that category. So it shouldn't be, for example, let's say if they would have nominated Recore. You're telling me the Xbox community would have been happy? Like, oh, yeah, cool, there's an Xbox game. You're telling me that Recore is a better game than, Quantum Break, Forza Horizon 3, or Gears of War? But as long as it's a Microsoft game, it's all good? And that's where I call the bullshit at. Because it shouldn't be, a Microsoft game. In your mind, you should already know the game that should be on there. It should be more like, yo, how the fuck Quantum Break didn't get nominated? That's bullshit. Quantum Break is yada, 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 yada. Gears of War should be there. Yada, 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 yada. And that's it. Shouldn't have been a Microsoft game, because when they go and say Microsoft game, then you leave the door open for Recore to be in there. Should Recore be nominated? No, fuck no. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe QB. I don't know. But when somebody says a Microsoft game, that tells me they're more concerned about a platform getting credit vice the individual game. If a game deserves to be credit, then say the game. Don't say, oh, not one Microsoft exclusive. Say Gears of War got gypped. You understand what I'm saying? Say Gears of War got gypped. Say Forza Horizon 3 got gypped. Don't say Xbox got gypped. You understand what I'm saying? Because if, let's say, by some crazy stretch of imagination, let's say if the Game Awards, to be controversial or whatever they want to do, they go, hey, we're going to put Recore as Game of the Year. You telling me you guys wouldn't flip the fuck out that Recore is nominated and not Forza Horizon 3 or Gears of War? But because it's an Xbox game, y'all good with it? No, I don't believe that. It should be a specific game. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if it's a Microsoft platform game. It's if a game deserves to be on there, everybody should pretty much be like, hey, this is it. Now, I think based on reviews and how much people talked about, I would think Forza would be up there, honestly. Just I'm surprised Forza's not there. But I would say, looking at past Game of Year awards in the past, rarely do they put up a racer. I don't know why. I think the genre. Well, I'll tell you why. I'm not a good candidate to defend the genre because I can't stand racing games. So like if I were like right now, let's say if Gran Turismo Sport came out this year, and they would have put that up as as Game of the Year, I would have flipped the fuck out. Like, are you fucking stupid? You're gonna put a fucking game where all you do is make left turns over Uncharted or something? Fuck no. I would flip out. I never want to see a Gran Turismo game nominated for Game of the Year, let alone win this shit. I'll flip the fuck out. Paying $60 to drive the same Corvette. But I'm just biased against racing games in general. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I personally think, and I can't play these games, but I would think looking at Gears of War and Forza Horizon 3, the positive receptions that they received, I would have thought they would be nominated. Now I can understand again, Forza Horizon racing games rarely get nominated for Game of the Year. But I would have thought maybe Gears of War. I heard positive things about the multiplayer, especially about the co-op horde mode. So I could see that. So why do I think Gears of War didn't get nominated and stuff like that? Um, to be honest, I really don't know. I haven't played the game. You know what I'm saying? I could say this though. I could say this, and may not be comforting for the community. And Crazy One, damn, Crazy One up in here. I think this is your first time in my podcast. Good looking out, Marine. Raw. Semper Fi. You know what I'm saying? Kill. And Mark Williams said Metacritic. You know what I'm saying? I would say this, and it's not Metacritic specifically. You have to understand these awards, the nominations for these awards are being done up by the same people, or at least in the same clique of people who provide reviews. You know what I'm saying? So like QB had no chance of going Game of the Year award. That's just not going to happen anywhere. Very few places are going to put that game at Game of the Review. Why? Look at the Metacritic. You know, it has an average of 70 something. That means generally most reviewers gave it a mediocre score, you know, or average score. They're not going to put the game that they gave an average score up on a nominee for Game of the Year. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the same people that review the games. You know what I'm saying? You know, like me, I think Forza is in a category for best racing sports game. I think Forza is going to win. Because if you look at Forza, it's one of the 90 plus games out there. I think Forza is going to win that category. It's been generally reviewed exceptionally well. So I think it's going to take the sports category. You know what I'm saying? So you could pretty much guess what's going to be Game of the Year, what's not, just by looking at reviews, because it's the same people. Let's be honest, it's the same people. So like Uncharted having like 8 nominations, yeah, no shit. The game's like a 92, you know, whatever, on Metacritic. Majority of people gave it 10s. So what do you think is going to happen? You know, and generally for whatever reason, you know, Naughty Dog's a Game of the Year pumping company. You know, like God of War. I mean, Uncharted 2 won a lot of awards. Uncharted 3 won some awards. I think The Last of Us has the record for most Game of the Years won and stuff like that. You know, so it's just how it is. So do I think it's biased? I don't think it is. I think it's just at the end of the day. Let's be honest with you guys. Awards. This is nothing more than people's opinions. You know, let's be honest about the gaming industry. It is not a real industry. You know, gaming not gaming, but gaming journalism. Gaming journalism is not really a real industry. It's really not. It's an industry based on opinion. The only thing factual we could get from gaming industry and gaming news is technical specs. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much it. Whether the game is fun, that's an opinion. Whether one game looks better than the other, that's also. Oh, my man, Dr. Joe, let's be honest about Gears 4. It's just not that good. My man's bringing out the System Wars tactics. Yo, fuck you, Dr. Joe, man. My man's crazy. But it's an opinion. That's really it. You know, and this is just one game award. It's not like this is the be careful, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Don't let Dr. Joe, you know, reel you in. You know what I'm saying? Be careful. My man will pull you in. Be careful. It just came to say that it's not biased. I agree. I don't think it's biased. It's just opinions. It's not like the awards is like the Academy Awards, and they treat in gaming as a craft. You know, with like, you know, the guild, what is it, the Actors Guild and shit like that. You know, it's just gaming, and granted, I love gaming, but it's not a real gaming journalism. And awards is not a real thing. It's something to stroke each other's ego. They're trying to make it a real thing because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. But think about it. Let's say if they announce Overwatch as Game of the Year, like, okay, it's Game of the Year. Like, is anybody gonna remember that shit? It's not a real industry. It's something that they're doing because gaming industry has grown. It's the revenue being produced is huge. So they're doing all these things to put it. That, let's be honest, gaming journalism. What they're trying to do, they're trying to make gaming in the same limelight as the Oscars or what's the other word for music? Oh my God, the Grammys, where it's prestigious and and the truth is it will never be there. Do I think gaming should have the basic protected rights as other arts and stuff like that? Of course, but no one's gonna wear a tuxedo to the freaking Game Awards and stuff like that, right? Um, and stuff. So that's just it. That's just my little. That's just my little. That's just my little rant on that one. Um, that's just my little rant. Not for that, I'm an ex-pony. I'll be okay. Damn, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Now I can't talk about. I heard QB's good. I think it's a great game. It's just how it is, man. It's not a real industry. Gaming journal is not a real industry. It's something made up. You know, they just talk about their opinions, and it's all a bunch of opinions at the end of the day. It's just all a bunch of opinions. And in this console war, we just use it to talk shit, but it doesn't mean nothing. Because at the end of the day, we all go to the store, or we go to the digital store, and we buy what we want to buy. At the end of the day, me personally, I like to look at streams and videos, especially streams now. Now that we see streams, I like to look at streams because I get to see what the guy's playing and making sure like the game's not broken and stuff like that. So I think streaming has been great for this generation because you actually could get to see it and stuff like that. Just picked up Battlefield 1, man. Tekken, you're gonna love that game. Game is cool. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this ain't a normal podcast. I appreciate it. I don't want to take up most of your time. And to be honest, I want to start playing some games. But before I go, and because you guys are awesome and you guys took the time to hear me live, this is where I do my little Q&A session. Are there any questions, anything you want me to cover before I go? Because the way I see it, I try to do this with every live video. Because if you guys were able to take the time to listen to me, that's just my appreciation. I think the one thing I could do is, if you guys have a question or something, or you want me to talk about something, I can at least put the time into doing that. You know what I'm saying? If not, you know what I'm saying, I'll wait a few minutes until the chat loads up. But if there's nothing, you know what I'm saying, that this just ends my cast, my little live chat. So we'll wait. And we'll wait some more. And then there's nothing. Bueller? Nothing really? Do people hate Xbox gamers? Good question. Oh, Gooby, yo, my man, you lucky I'm too broke to do giveaways. You know what I'm saying? I would have you would have got like a $2.50 PSN code or some shit. I want to be a guest on 60 frames no lag. Hey, hit me up on my Twitter. You understand what I'm saying? And we'll do a guest. Hey, if y'all want to be a guest, hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on the DM. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll do something. I'm all open. I'm all open to opinions. It's not just big YouTube channels or whatever. You don't even have to have a YouTube channel. I like to hear gamers' comments and stuff like that. Just don't be a weirdo. Don't like jerk off live or shit like that. Don't do that shit. Don't be a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? I'm trusting you to do the right thing. All right. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I got two questions. First question is, do people hate Xbox gamers? And two, who do I think will win November APD? I'll start with, do people hate Xbox gamers? No. I think people hate Xbox fanboys, not gamers. Because I know I follow some other Xbox gamers YouTube channels. You know what I'm saying? And I don't receive the hate, or nobody really like talk shit about them. You know what I'm saying? It's just simply like this. Because and I think this reminds me of PS3 gamers last gen. Because PS3 gamers like channels. How can I put this? All right. So there's a PlayStation channel. He's a fanboy, JTech TV, but he had a channel called Pyro 2000. He was pretty much the BGST for PlayStation last gen. Because PS3 had all types of issues. It was very expensive. The cell processor, was hard to develop for. There wasn't a lot of AAA scoring games on the PlayStation platform. A lot of them were just average to mediocre games. There wasn't big killer apps. But yeah, Pyro, who's not on Joystick TV, he was talking shit about the Xbox. He would say Halo 3 sucks. Gears of War franchise is garbage. Like games that were great, Mass Effect is garbage, but then as soon as it comes to PS3, it's great. He was that type. He was pretty much the BGST last gen. And boy, that dude was attacked. You know, everybody, a black man would attack him. Everybody. Pyro was the BGST of PlayStation 3 last gen. You know what I'm saying? And it's because everything Xbox did, even though it was a great console, was shit. And everything PS3 did, even though it had a lot of issues, was the greatest thing. And he was pretty much that tactic. So to make a long story short, I think Xbox fanboys are being attacked because they've been the most aggressive in saying PlayStation 4 sucks and there's nothing wrong with Xbox. So I think if you have that attitude and you associate yourself with that mindset, it's going to feel like people are attacking you. And I don't think anyone's attacking you for liking Xbox. Now, I'm not saying there aren't PlayStation gamers that do that. You do have fanboys that attack PlayStation, but that's just the nature of the beast. You're always going to have that. You're always going to have fanboys that attack the other console. You're going to have Xbox gamers that attack PlayStation 4 gamers and vice versa. It's the neutrals that really shift the tide. The people that don't really care about PlayStation or Xbox, but they seem one-sided simply because they're attacking the extreme fanboys. And in this case, the Xbox community has those guys. Right now, this gen, the Xbox community has the biggest voices of anti-PlayStation, pro-Xbox propaganda. They have the biggest ones. You understand what I'm saying? So anybody associated with that group, they're gonna feel personally attacked. I'll give you an Xbox channel that nobody really fucks with. Arsenal. Everybody should know Arsenal. Everybody knows Arsenal. He's an Xbox dude. But nobody, you look at his Twitter, nobody attacks him. Why? Because he doesn't go out his way to bash PlayStation at every single thing. He could make a comment about PS4 saying, hey, this game doesn't look that good. Everybody leaves him alone. Because there are times he says, yo, this PlayStation game is dope. And there are times that, yo, this Xbox game is great. Nobody fucking tells him, oh, you're a fucking fanboy. TRX Sales, well, there's Xbox channels out there that don't get attacked. But when you're like, BGST, or Kid Smooth, and you say some crazy shit, you're going to get fucking hemmed up. And anybody who associate yourselves with that group, you're going to get hemmed up. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I really don't get attacked for being a PlayStation gamer. I don't really get slaughtered. The few tweets you see that I do with like AJ Felton, K Mega, B Shadows, that's just us because we're in a podcast. Well, not AJ Felton, but some of us are in a podcast. So we just talk shit just to talk shit. We just fuck around. But I don't have like 100 Xbox dudes attack me. I have Xbox dudes that follow me a lot. And I don't get attacked. And I tell them up front that I'm a PS4 dude in terms of my console preference. But I don't get attacked because I don't go out of my way to bash Xbox. I don't need to. Why do I need to bash? It's not going to I don't get a check. Now if Sony said, yo, for every time you make fun of Xbox, you'll get $1. Oh, believe you me, I'll be bashing the fuck out of that, but only because I'm getting a check. I get no checks. So I get no checks. Believe me, I would be a millionaire by now. There's no checks. There's no reason for me to bash. You understand what I'm saying? Now, what was I saying? Games that does a lot. Yeah. So I don't like, if you look at my Twitter feed, there's a lot of people that follow me. A lot of Xboxers that follow me. I don't go out of my way to bash. I give Xbox props when it gives props. I note out the mistakes when I know the mistakes, and I do the same for PS4. I'll tell you up front. People ask me, what about some PS4 games? Some games I think suck on PS4. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. You understand? But when you go out of your way to consistently bash, and this goes both ways. If you go out of your way to consistently bash a product, and the competing product, you're going to try to make it always look good, you're going to get the hate on both sides of the fence. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't think Xbox gamers are getting hate. I think Xbox fanboys or the extremist portion are getting hate, and anyone associated will feel that hate as well. You understand what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful with association, stuff like that. You might be a legit Xbox gamer that don't mind PlayStation, but if you're always following, like let's say BGST, Mooj, or Crab Gamer, then yeah, you might feel the hate because they're attracting a lot of hate and they know what they're doing. They know it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Titanfall Princess. Yo, when we're going to do that podcast, I was ready last week for that podcast, girl. I was ready. Woo, I was going to get in. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to do this. Anyway. And the next question: do I think PlayStation Pro could win November? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give my honest opinion. I don't know, and not because um, I don't think Pro's doing that well. I'm just thinking there is some crazy, insane deals that both platforms are providing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can already get a Pro for 350, right? But at the same time, Walmart's having a special where you could get a 40-inch Samsung 4K TV with HDR and Xbox One S. One, I think it's the 500 gig or 1 terabyte, one of the two, for $499. Yo, for $499, you get a 4K TV, 40-inch, and a console. Yo, that shit is bananas. You know what I'm saying? That shit's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, the deals are off the hook. And it's only getting better as closer we get to Black Friday. So I don't know what's going to win. And I'm saying it really comes down to the deals. It's just some crazy ass deals going over. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just I think at this month it's all about the deals more than it is about the console. Do I think the Pro's doing good? Yes, I think the Pro's doing good. I think it's selling good. One barometer, one tool I like to use, and it's not the end all be all, but I like to look at Amazon. Amazon generally gives me an idea of how good a console is doing or product is doing. And right now, the Pro, if you look at Amazon for in video games, the best selling products in video games for 2016. That means cumulative for all of 2016. The last I checked, the Pro is already as the 45th best selling product in 2016, and that shit just came out like 2 weeks ago. At the time that I saw it, was like 8 days later. You know what I'm saying? It already surpassed Xbox 2 terabyte as the best selling product of all of 2016. Now, again, it's not the end all be all because you got GameSpot. I mean, you got GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart. So there could be a lot more places that Xbox One S sells better than Amazon. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But I think overall, it's good for gamers. The fact that these prices drop fast, faster than what I'm used to seeing, that's amazing. So I think everybody's gonna win. If you're gonna buy the Xbox One S, enjoy that shit, man. It's a great console and stuff like that. If you're gonna buy a Pro, enjoy that stuff. You're gonna enjoy it. Whatever console you're gonna buy, you're just gonna enjoy it. If you're involved in a console war, just do like me, man. Just do it for fun but dust your shoulders off. But at the end of the day, when I log off for Twitter and YouTube, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm gonna play what I want to play and I'm gonna enjoy it. And that's just how it is. And that's it. So any other question? Let me ask them. So we got Hey Xbox. We got MPD. What's your game of the year? Joke of Life, Priceless. What's my game of the year? I don't know. Right, like really right now, I I I I can't say much because there's a lot of games I want to play. I haven't played a lot of current 2016 games. You know what I mean? Because I've been playing a lot of backlog games I have to catch up to. Like I want to play Dishonored. I want to play Deus Ex. I'm dying to play Deus Ex so bad right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hold off on that. I really don't know right now. Battlefield has been awesome. Uncharted has been awesome. Street Fighter, I'm loving Street Fighter now that they fixed and stuff. So I'm gonna hold off until I want to give Mafia 3. I need to play at least 3 games. Dishonored, Mafia 3, Deus Ex. And when I get a chance to play those, hell, Final Fantasy's coming out next week. Oh my god. Yo, if anybody says there's no games to play, you're full of shit. I'm gonna be real. You're full of fucking shit. You're just a non-gamer. You're just an elitist hipster that's talking shit. Cause it's just crazy and stuff like that. How many games and stuff like that? All right. I haven't even played Fallout yet. That shit's in my backlog title. It's just crazy. It's just insane and stuff. You see, I'm playing Life is Strange. I'm trying to keep up. All right. So we'll see. I'm sorry I didn't be able to answer your question, but I need to at least give those 3 games a chance before I could say what my game of the year. But I'll get back to you on that. Or remind me. All right. Do you see a change in the way Xbox is perceived compared to a year ago? Hell yes. Hell yes. Hell to the yes. Hell to the yes. All right. And I'm gonna tell you why I see a difference. Because guess what Xbox is doing? Guess what the conversation's about? It's about games. I always said this. If you look at my earlier podcast, I always said the entire point of a gaming console, it's about games. It's about playing games. Stare at your console right now if it's available. Look at your PS4. Look at your Xbox. It's just a shell. You know what I'm saying? That shell is supposed to do one thing. You take a game disc, or you take a digital game that you bought and downloaded and play it. You know what I'm saying? If you try to sell me that shell and say, oh, look, you can watch TV, I don't give a fuck. I don't need that shell to watch TV. I don't need it. I don't need that shell to record, the shit that fucking cables does, DVR. I don't need that shell to DVR shit. I don't need a goddamn thing to DVR. Who the hell needs a PlayStation and Xbox to DVR anything? Yo, on the real, I mean, it's cool to have apps and be multifunctional, but let's be honest, I don't even watch Netflix on my PlayStation because I got my TV. I'd rather have my PlayStation on standby, off, chilling, and watch Netflix on my TV, so at least I don't overwork my PlayStation all day doing every single thing. And I'm not saying that Netflix and all these apps ain't important. I'm just saying the priority of the console is gaming first, then all these other things are nice to have. They're cool essentials. You understand what I'm saying? But the gaming comes first, and that's why Microsoft message was with Xbox One S. The one thing I'm nervous about is lately they are really hyping on, the 4K Blu-ray player. That's what they keep mentioning. Relax, Microsoft. Don't mention that as your fucking lead point. Still go back to the games. Hell, focus on HDR gaming, please. For example, Dead Rising 4 is supposed to come out in December. Is the game HDR enabled? I don't know. Recently I looked at it. There's nothing saying that Dead Rising 4 is going to be HDR. Hello, get your priorities back. Go back to pushing HDR gaming, upscaling these games to beautiful performance, and then mention 4K Blu-ray player. Gaming. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is, if your number one message to the consumer is 4K Blu-ray player, let me show you something. Go to Amazon.com, right? I know one big thing everybody says, it's the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player out. So let me type in 4K Blu-ray player in Amazon. Right? Let me do that right now. I'm looking at 4K Blu-ray player right now. Okay? All right? So 4K Blu-ray player. Samsung 3D Wi-Fi 4K Ultra HD player, $189. Was $317 right now. So do I need to buy an Xbox for a 4K Blu-ray player if I want a dedicated 4K Blu-ray player? You know what I'm saying? If I really want a dedicated 4K Blu-ray player, do I need to get an Xbox One S? No, I don't. I could get one right now, and it's in black for $189 right now. You know what I'm saying? There's another one, a Philips, for $229. Hell, if I'm broke, I could get a Sony 3D 4K upscaling Blu-ray player with Wi-Fi for $88. So if I'm living in the projects, and I'm trying to save my weed money, but I want to get down with that 4K, I could get one for $88. You know what I'm saying? Just go to Amazon. Like, holy shit, there's a shitload of fucking 4K players for less than $300 with HDMI cable and everything. And then there's some high-end ones too. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to think about this. I don't need an Xbox One or PlayStation, whatever, to watch 4K Blu-ray players. There's already devices that does that. But how many devices are there that provides Xbox Live experience? The answer is only the Xbox One S or the vanilla Xbox One. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you got to put gaming first. Always got to put gaming first, because we don't have a lot of choices for dedicated console gaming. Right now, we only have two companies, Microsoft, Sony, because Nintendo's creating a handheld. The Switch is a handheld. It is not a home console. It is a handheld that you can play on your TV. So we're down to two consoles. So we have to make sure those two consoles do what it's meant to do. Okay. So do I think the perception changed? Yes, because they focused on gaming, HDR features in gaming, right price, no gimmicks. I think they're doing a great job. They just need to keep at it. Just keep at it, and they'll be good. You know what I'm saying? They won a couple MPDs. They might lose a couple. Doesn't matter. It's a great product, great games, great support. Yeah, so I think it does change. The only thing that's not changing is the fanboys because they're still, they're still on their bullshit. You know. All right. So the next question. I know Titanfall Prince. How excited are you for Last Guardian? Girl, I'm excited, but I'm going to wait until the game comes out just to see the streams and stuff. I seen the 30-minute preview and the game looks good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking forward to that game. I will cop that game because one of my favorite games is Shadow of Colossus and Ico. I just like that developer style of games. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but they make good games and stuff like that. It's sad that it took so long for this to happen, but I have a feeling it had to do with the PS3 development architecture. I think the architecture made it harder for that studio to make the game, so they just moved on and waited for the PS4. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I hope it's a quality game, especially for how long it came out. I think the fans of that company deserve it, and it will really suck if it's a poorly made game. It will be really disappointing. Are you worried by the disappointing sales with regards to games? Certain games, yes, and I will say this: companies do it to themselves. Like Tomb Raider should have not released in October. I know Microsoft. I know the game had a year-long restriction sign, but come on, man. Like, I know some people take Sony for whatever Sony's bad, whatever, releasing their first party in the holidays. I know some people may say that me saying that's corporate slaving, but if I want Uncharted or my first party games that I like God of War, whatever, to have a long-standing franchise and to be around for in the long term, they have to sell. That's just the reality. They have to sell. That's the reason why we don't got. That's the reason why. Hey, no problem. Titanfall Princess. Yeah, I'm waiting for it. Hopefully, it's a great game for everybody because I know a lot of people are looking for it. But back to my point. Let's be honest. The reason why people are like, "Where's Resistance?" You're not gonna get a Resistance. All right, look up Resistance 3 sales. It only sold like 100K. The month in launch. Why would Insomniac release another Resistance? Like, let's be honest. Some people, listen, there's a game that I would love to see a sequel, that was on the PS1. It was called The Legend of Dragoon. I would love to see Legend of Dragoon 2. I would love it. But I know it's not coming out. And it's not because, some people say, oh, it's because PS4 is a piece of shit. No. Legend of Dragoon didn't come out. The sequel to Legend of Dragoon didn't come out on the PlayStation 2. And that's the best-selling console and the highest-selling software of all time. The PlayStation 2 sold over 1 billion software titles in its lifetime. And over 150 million units. There was no Legend of Dragoon 2 on that console. Why? Because Legend of Dragoon didn't sell on PS1. That's just the reality. You're not going to see sequels to games that don't sell. This is not a charity. Yes, developers want to make games for people to enjoy. But remember, this is their jobs. They got kids that go to college and school. They got bills to pay. And they too want to buy 4K TVs and pay their mortgage and rent. This is their career. And the only way they make money if the games sell. So, like you said, no ReCore 2. No, you're not going to get ReCore 2. You're not going to get Sunset Overdrive. You're not going to get, a Quantum Break. They're not coming. You're not going to get a Rise. The quality of the game is not what's in question. It's selling. In fact, you could get a shitty game, and that motherfucker sells, they'll create another shitty game. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality. It's just going to have good sales. Companies got to make profit. No profit, no sequel. That's it. Plain and simple. There's nothing else with it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality. It's sad, but yeah. So I do worry about it. But the company's also got to be smart. You put Titanfall 2 in October. Like, are you stupid? Sony, that's why you don't see Sony exclusives in this month. Sony knows. Sony's not dumb. Listen. Sony makes money when Call of Duty sells on the PlayStation 4. So why would Sony want to put Uncharted 4 to compete against COD? It's a lose-lose situation for Sony. Sony's like, yo, the fans are going to buy Call of Duty anyway. Let them enjoy it. During this month, April, there ain't shit coming out. We're going to put out games during these months when there's hardly anything coming out. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about providing entertainment all year round and planning for the success of your games. You understand what I'm saying? It's insane. Yo, October was stacked. Everybody knew that Battlefield 1 was the big hit. Everybody knew that. Now, Call of Duty, that always comes out November. They will always come out November. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? But October, when EA announced Battlefield 1 in October, that should have just brought signs, you know? That should have just been like, oh, shit. Battlefield's in October? Yeah, we might want to release our game in September or August or December after all that stuff or January. You know what I'm saying? But EA is crazy seeing that they're releasing Battlefield 1 in October. On the Xbox side, Gears of War 4, is coming out. So a huge chunk of the Xbox fan base is going to go for Gears 4. And then early November, Call of Duty. Why would you put Titanfall in between there like a sandwich meat? That's just insane, man. That's just insane. They should have delayed that game at least till December. So that way, by the time mid-December comes, people already have their Battlefield fixed. They already have their Gears of War fixed. They already have their Call of Duty fixed for about a month. December, boom. Hell, do it in January. Because really, in terms of big multiplats, the only title that's there in January is Resident Evil. That's it. I mean, granted, there's also, for the PlayStation Yakuza, but that's not a super big title. It's a good game, a good franchise, but it's not an ultra title. If they would have put Titanfall in January, that shit would have been primo. Primo. You know what I'm saying? That shit would have been dope. Titanfall 2, January, it would have been good. Because that would have been, people would have had their Battlefield fixed for about 3 months. Call of Duty fixed for about 2 months. Gears of War fixed for about 3 months. Everybody would have been looking for a brand new multiplayer to kick off 2017. Boom. In the middle of January, bingo. Titanfall. The only multiplayer out in January would have been prime. But they messed up. Okay? So I see nothing else. And Awake was amazing, but so yeah. So I think that's it. That's about it, peoples. All right, time to get back some gaming. We gotta play some games and stuff like that. I'm trying to look through my library to see what I could tackle next. In my endless pursuit of catching up to games. But anyway, I appreciate that all of you stop by. I hope the podcast is enjoyable. Tune in tomorrow for 60 Frames No Lag podcast. I'll announce what the topic is and stuff like that, and you can hear his bullshit. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Be there. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the intensity and stuff like that. I appreciate the conversation. I just appreciate everything you guys do and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up on Twitter, Porterbox77. This is your boy, Porterbox77, here with a little impromptu live video. You know that sound. Let everybody know that's the 60 Frames No Lag podcast sound. Don't get it twisted. But anyway, happy gaming. Take care. Love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Now let's get it on. Let's get some gaming on. All right. Take care.